Is in-course corrections for converting rates to unit rates course. The presentation was created by Taylor Brackett for a course at the American College of Education. The author will be discussing possible in-course corrections that could be made to her converting rates to unit rates course if data demonstrated that students were not engaged. The target audience for the Converting Rates to Unit Rates course is a 6th grade math class. Converting rates to unit rates is one of the 6th grade math standards within the ratios and probability strand of the South Carolina state standards. There are approximately 20 students in the class completing the course. The students attend a school in a rural location with spotty internet service and share a set of 30 Chromebooks among 3 6th grade classrooms. Because of this limitation, courses must be designed in a hybrid format to account for days that Chromebooks are not accessible. Finally, the students in the designer's class have average to low math scores on standardized tests. None of the students qualify as gifted and talented. The topic of the Converting Rates to Unit Rates course is converting rates to unit rates. There are 3 objectives for the course. 1. Given a set of 10 rates, students will be able to convert those rates to unit rates with 80% accuracy. 2. Given grocery store task cards in which they are asked to compare the rates of various products, students will evaluate the price of each product by converting rates to unit rates and will then choose the best priced product with 80% accuracy. And 3. Given a grocery store ad and a budget of $30, students will plan a meal for their family by shopping for products with the lowest unit rate without going over their budget. For a pre-course assessment, students will be asked to take a pre-test in which they convert rates to unit rates. This test will provide the designer with information about where students are currently in their knowledge of unit rates. During the course, students will complete several formative assessments. These assessments include a quizzes game, several discussion posts to be used as exit slips each day, task cards with a partner, and a unit rate budget activity in which they are asked to plan a party for their families while sticking to a budget by making purchase decisions based on the unit rates of products. Finally, students will complete a post-course assessment that matches the pre-course assessment to determine if student growth on objectives and will take a student survey to evaluate the effectiveness of strategies used throughout the course. After planning the course, the designer implemented the course with her students. At the halfway point of the course, Converting Rates to Unit Rates, students had watched videos and completed notes on unit rates, completed a discussion post on Canvas each day as an exit slip, and played a review quizzes game. The designer noticed that 2 students failed to complete their discussion posts fully each day and did not score well on the quizzes game. Next, all students completed a partner task card activity where they converted the prices of various products in a grocery store to unit rates to compare the prices. The designer found that the same 2 students were off task during the activity and did not score well. The designer felt that the performance of these students needed to be addressed. After collecting and analyzing data, the designer decided that changes could be made to the course's activities and assessments to increase learner engagement. Quantitative and qualitative data were collected to determine if 2 students were struggling in the Converting Rates to Unit Rates course. The quantitative data came from looking at the minutes on task on Canvas for the discussion posts, the scores on the quizzes game that was played, and the grades on the task card activity. The student should be able to respond to the discussion posts in 5 minutes, score at least 8 out of 10 or 80% on the quizzes game, and score at least 80% on the task card activity. The qualitative data were gathered through observations of on-task behavior during the quizzes game and task card activity. For 2 students identified as struggling, data analysis revealed that both were spending only a couple minutes a day on their Canvas discussion exit slips. This information revealed that neither student was spending the time on Canvas that was necessary to fully answer the questions. On the quizzes game, 1 student answered 4 out of 10 questions correctly, and the other student answered 3 out of 10 questions correctly. This information alerted the designer to the fact that the students may not understand the content being taught. Finally, after analyzing the two students' low scores, 40% and 50%, and off-task behavior during the task card activity, the designer knew that adjustments to the course would need to be made in order to help these students succeed. Chickering and Gamsom's 7 principles provide a researched guideline for improving student performance and engagement in learning courses. These principles are described by Ugrass and Asselturk 2018 as frequent communication between students and teacher, collaborative activities, active learning, prompt feedback from the teacher on assignments, increased time on task, high expectations for students, and respect and recognition of cultural diversity. When the designer discovered that 2 students were struggling in the Converting Rates to Unit Rates course, the principals provided a checklist that could be followed when trying to make improvements to the course. The activities in this course already include opportunities for collaboration among students through the task card activity and daily discussion posts, as students work with a partner on the task cards and can respond to each other on the discussions. Additionally, the activities include active learning. Therefore, 2 of Chickering and Gamsom's principles have already been addressed. However, the activities could be adjusted to encourage more engagement from students who may be struggling. Baldwin and Trespalcios 2017 explained that increased communication among students and teachers can increase course engagement. In addition to daily exit slips on Canvas, the designer could implement a daily check-in survey activity to be completed at the beginning of class by students to provide an opportunity for students to regularly communicate their struggles. The activities themselves could be improved by differentiating the questions on the task cards and creating a more flexible budget on the final activity in order to help struggling students. Having 2 sets of questions for each pair of products, with one set being easier, would allow for the same practice at different instructional levels. Students would be told to complete either the task cards marked with a star or the cards marked with a circle, depending on their level. Additionally, higher performing students would have a strict $30 budget for their last formative unit rate activity, while struggling students may have a lower or more flexible budget. Maybe they can be within $5 of the budget. There are several strategies that could be implemented to make the assessments in this course more effective for struggling students. Ogange et al. 2018 explained that prompt teacher feedback on formative assessments better allows students to make corrections in their learning. In the course currently, students receive immediate feedback on the quizzes game, but the other feedback may take longer to be given. The designer would increase communication and feedback on the daily discussion posts and meet with students after the task card activity to increase the feedback provided to students. This may increase engagement with the 2 struggling students. Next, the designer could provide students with a survey halfway through the course to gather feedback on the strategies used in the course. This survey would allow the struggling students to communicate any frustrations and allow the designer an opportunity to make corrections to the course. Finally, Ogange et al. Explains that allowing retakes on formative assessments is beneficial in increasing students' confidence in their knowledge of content. Currently, students are only able to take the quizzes formative assessment once. However, by allowing retakes, the students who are struggling may feel less discouraged by bad scores and have more motivation to continue in the course. Ogange et al. 2018 explained that well-developed formative assessments are useful in increasing student engagement. Therefore, by making adjustments to the formative assessments used in the Converting Rates to Unit Rates course, the 2 students who are struggling may be more engaged in the activities. These adjustments included offering retakes of the quizzes game, increasing feedback from the teacher, and differentiating the questions on the task cards. Furthermore, Baldwin and Trespalcios 2017 describe using strategies such as examples of work and increased praise of students as ways to communicate high expectations. Having high expectations of students may also increase learner engagement. When collecting and analyzing student data, it is important to recognize and respect student privacy laws. In online education, student privacy is increasingly at risk as students are tracked through every website they visit. Therefore, when creating a hybrid course, a designer must be careful to check the websites being used. In the Converting Rates to Unit Rates course, the designer uses Canvas for the majority of online data collection, which helps protect the privacy of her students. Additionally, ethical responsibilities to students must be considered in course design. All students should have access to equal learning opportunities. When data revealed that 2 students were struggling, the designer had the ethical responsibility to make adjustments to the course in order to aid those students in being successful. Finally, students must be able to trust their teachers and trust that their information is protected. Therefore, data must remain confidential between student and designer. If the 2 students who are struggling feel that they are being singled out through the changes made to the course, their data and trust are compromised. The changes made to the course must be beneficial to all students and lack any details that may break students' trust. The references for this presentation are listed on this slide. Thank you for viewing the in-course corrections for Converting Rates to Unit Rates course.